All right, this week on Camera Talk. Are we going anywhere? Are we going anywhere? No, I don't think so. No, why aren't we going anywhere? Because we're not talking about any lenses or cameras, even though we're talking about cameras. But what are we talking about?
Now, why would I know that?
Talking megapixels. Do you know what a megapixel is? You do? Go ahead, tell us, mister. Smarty pants. You don't know, do you? I know, you're just faking it. So anyway, let's find out about megapixels together. Grab yourself something to eat or drink. Get yourself comfortable.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Let's get it on. Jesus. God.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan, who's sitting outside and trying to boycott Camera Talk this week with a comment of no Dylan, Dylan bad boy. So we're flying solo for now. He'll probably come in a little later, so we'll wait and see. What are we talking about this week? Megapixels. That's right. What the heck is a megapixel anyway?
I don't know.
People talk about megapixel this and megapixel that and 40 megapixels, 60 megapixels. Just saw on the news today, Sony came up with a medium format, 247 megapixels.
What the fuck?
What the heck for? Oh, you need that many megapixels. Anyway, you can count the pores in your skin on the edge of your nose or something, who knows. But anyway.
Ew!
Do megapixels matter? Does size matter?
No. It's how you use it.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about anyway. So whether it's 10 megapixels, 18 megapixels, 24 megapixels, 36, 42, 60, 100, whatever. Hey, megapixels, they're out there.
No shit, Sherlock.
So let's talk about them. What is a pixel anyway? Well, technically they are the smallest unit of measure in a digital image captured by the camera sensor, pretty much. And each pixel represents a specific color and brightness value. So each pixel, think of it as a kind of a cup, or a bucket, or a bowl, or something. And inside each one of these things is a semiconductor diode. Do you know what that is?
No.
Maybe, maybe not. And basically what it does is it converts, well, it doesn't convert yet. It has to collect light photons, and it converts those into an electrical current, and then it gets converted through to a digital format and then sent to the processor that's in these things. Now, remember, we're talking about digital cameras here. Film cameras, analog cameras, nothing to do with this at all.
What you talking about, doctor?
Strictly whole different technology. But this, again, gets sent to the processor, and then the processor creates an image out of all of that. Now, the number of pixels that you have on your sensor is going to affect the resolution of that final image that got sent through to the processor, and the detail that gets captured in that image. And then later, when you pull it up on your monitor, voila, you have this photograph.
Holy shit.
That is affected by the number of pixels that you have on your sensor. But it's not just the number of pixels, it's the light capturing quality of those pixels. So again, the smaller the pixel, the less light that it's actually capturing because it's smaller. So therefore these megapixels, these 100 megapixel stuff and everything, it's on the same size sensor, so each one of these has the same full frame sensor. And then, of course, then you get micro four thirds or my APS-C size sensors. Again, the real estate that you have and the number of megapixels on those sensors is going to determine the size of the individual pixel itself. And so, of course, the more pixels you have, the smaller ones, the more detail those little sensors can gather from the light that it collects. The larger the pixel, the more light photons it collects, and therefore it's going to make a difference.
Holy crap!
Oh, who decided to come in the room? Come on, our visiting co-host, Dylan, decided to make an appearance. Everybody welcome Dylan. Yay! Dylan's back. Yay! Hello, Dylan. Everybody's happy to see Dylan.
Whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, continuing, and I knew he'd show up sooner or later, but continuing on with that, so a megapixel is a term that they use to count 1 million pixels. $1 million, right?
$1 million.
So, so again, with these, 60 megapixels, 40 megapixels, 32 megapixel, whatever, is actually talking about the million. So my 24 megapixel is 24 million pixels. My 42 megapixel camera is 42 million pixels. Million pixels. That's right. And of course, so the larger the number of pixels, the more resolution that this A7R III is going to have over my Leica M10, which has a 24 megapixel. But again, with the same size sensor, the 24 megapixel, those individual pixels are going to be larger. Therefore, their light gathering capability is that much better. But that's not where it stops there too. It's also the sensor technology. And, whether you know this or not, Sony kind of leads the way in that area.
Am I still in the thumbnail?
I mean, there's a good majority of the cameras that are out there, including your cell phones and everything else, that use Sony produced sensors. So a lot of these, cameras out there, camera companies, are saying, oh, our sensor's better than these guys and everything else. And if you do your homework, you may find out that they're actually the same.
Same, but different. But still same.
Same sensor. Anyhow, it's just, they have the color science and the other applications of software and everything where they can tweak those to actually make them different than their competitor. So the sensor tech, anyway, sensor tech? Yeah, I'm sure you do. Sensor tech evolved into BSI, which is backside illuminated. And then on top of that, then they got into stacked sensors, and then double diode per pixel. It's hard to get that out, eh? Double diode per pixel technology, and then quad diode. Quad. How many is a quad? What's that?
4.
4. That's right. 4 diodes within each pixel. Oh my God, that's a lot, huh? 4 diodes in their pixel. And so pretty much the sensors are kind of getting maxed out at this point. Again, there's only so much real estate you can have on a full frame sensor. The sensor doesn't get any bigger itself. Yeah, you okay? Yeah, you're gonna live? Good. I'm a doctor, It's what? Are you hungry? My mom. My mom's Dylan talk for food. So yeah, Daddy will get some food for you. Don't you worry. Just wait we'll wrap up our camera talk here, okay? Okay. So anyway, where else you kind of threw me off of where I was going with that. So now, cameras again, since the sensors are kind of where they are today, and of course Sony again coming up with a universal sensor that doesn't have any shutter or whatnot. And voila, we're moving on to that technology. But most camera companies are. What are you doing? You picking boogers?
That's disgusting.
Napkin? Jeez, don't you be getting any boogers on Daddy. All right, go. Mmm, how yummy on camera talk. Go. Mmm, good boy. Did I get it all? More? Wait. Okay.
More?
What? What the heck? Did we get it all?
More?
I just tried to do more and you're pulling away. Yeah. Momentary lapse of reason going on here. You done? Thank you. You're welcome, Dylan. I love you. You say that? Say I love you. I love you. Okay. Oh, you need a hug? Oh. So anyway, camera companies now are focusing more so on autofocusing and light sensitivity, higher ISO and everything else. They've been given up on megapixel. Why? Because they've kind of determined that the 24, 30 something, is kind of a sweet spot. Because where do most people view their photos anyway? Are they blowing up giant photos and pasting them on their wall?
No way.
Some, maybe. I know, I have to cut your nails. You got nails like a little girl. Jesus. But most of us view it on our monitors or even smaller screens like our cell phones, right? So the quality is good enough for that. So again, the big megapixel thing is all wonderful. But really why a lot of people will use that as an excuse why they need megapixels, 60 megapixels and more, is for cropping. They say, our huge resolution photos I can crop in, and it's like almost like a zoom lens, but with a prime. You can cut in and blow up and still get great detail, which is true. But
Like big butts and I cannot lie.
besides obviously enlarging and printing large things, the size of your files. Speaking of megapixels, talk about megabytes. There's some big files out there that some of these cameras collect, and then you got to put them on your PC or your laptop, and boom, use up all your memory in that regard. And because, like I said too, the more megapixels on that same little real estate, the smaller your actual pixel, which means light gathering capabilities are not the best. And that's where, as I just talked about, the development of better light sensitivity technologies coming in, so they can use higher ISOs to be able to compensate for that lack of light gathering capability. And depending on the camera system and whatnot, you can start using higher ISO without traditionally using high ISO gets you lots of grainy, images and whatnot. So those are kind of where we're headed in that direction anyway. But just remember that, especially on things like, that's a Micro Four Thirds, but like my Canon M50 that I used to record these, or my GR3 Ricoh, they're APS-C size. So if you're going to do the equivalent with the pixels, so a 24 megapixel APS-C, which is my Canon, has a 24. On full frame, its equivalent is actually 55 megapixel. From 24 to 55.
Whoop-de-doo.
Wow, that's kind of a, I don't know if I want to touch your hands. You don't have any boogers on there, do you? Yeah. So, anyway, that's all I want to talk about megapixels.
Thank God.
So, let's move on. Hopefully that kind of gets you the idea of, are megapixels, do they matter? Does size matter?
So many different sizes.
Well, yes, it matters. The number of megapixels matters. And again, the lower number of megapixels is going to get you better light gathering, and that's why
Why don't you come up sometime, see me?
creating videos have like 12 megapixels because their sensors are trying to collect as much light as possible for, again, dark scenes and everything else. Anyway, does size matter? Yes, it does. In a good way and a bad way, both. So anyway, should we care about megapixels?
No, 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 no.
Yes.
Should we care? Do we care? Yeah, okay. Good. So anyway, let's talk about our photo editing software. And who do we use? We use Luminar. Luminar Neo. And why is Luminar Neo kind of a cool product? Because of all the AI. You know what AI is? Yeah? What does AI stand for? Tell us. 1, 2, 3. No, not that. That's not, you funny boy, you. So AI, artificial intelligence. Do you have artificial intelligence? Yeah.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
Artificial intelligence got all kinds of stuff like spot and dust removal. So if you're down at the beach and you're taking photos of all the hot girls. Do you know any hot girls? Yeah, if you're taking pictures of the hot girls and you go home and you develop your photos, you open them up on your laptop or your desktop and you see there's spots all over, you're like, oh my God, my dirty sensor. Well, Luminar can't analyze that photo. And let's say you've got a flock of seagulls. No, the other kind. That in your photo. And it can analyze that and choose to remove the spots, but leave the seagulls alone. They leave the seagulls alone. Shh. Right. Those are the kind of girls he thinks about. Shh. Anyway, so it leaves the seagulls, removes the spots. And how about power line removal? Power line removal. Yeah. Power line removal. Gets rid of those, same thing. Analyzes the photo. And removes the power lines without you having to brush them out. Now there's scene relighting. There is background removal. There is Dylan removal. There is all kinds of different AI features in it anyway. But the best part is it's economical. If you get yourself a copy, click below. Well, look below first. Find a link, click on that link, and it'll take you to Skylum, the name of the company. You can purchase Luminar through that link and you'll get $10 deducted off the price of your purchase. And what do they do with that $10? Do they give it to Dylan? Yeah? And what do they call that in the business? They call that kickback. Yay! Kickback. And what's Dylan going to do with that $10? I'm going to share it with Daddy? No. You suck. Are you going to share it with Mommy? Oh, you really suck. Well, don't fall off. So anyway, $10, it's yours. What else? How about you help sponsor our show? We're not really sponsoring it. How about you support our show and you subscribe? That's how about this hand. Subscribe. How about my hands and your hand together? 1, 2, 3. Subscribe. Well, that was the worst subscribe I've ever seen. What else does YouTube like besides subscribers? They like the thumbs up. Dylan gonna sing thumbs up with me? Huh? Give us a thumbs up and we'll give you a taste of the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up. Do 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 do. Thumbs up. Well, you're falling off my leg. All right, so anyway, so who are we? Oh, I'm Dr. Scott. This is Dylan.
I am your father.
And together we're all Modesty Photography. We're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, vintage lenses, vintage cameras, vintage Dylan, and whatever other photography things like today, megapixels, right? So, you think they should come back next week? Yeah, we think so. Come on back and join us for another camera talk. And it's because...
Bye-bye.
Not yet. We have to say thank you. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just hanging out and putting up with our craziness. Why? Because
Bye-bye.
you belong here. That's right. And where do they belong, Dylan? What's the name of this show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. And Dylan. That's right. Dylan and I be back next week for another Camera Talk. Remember, every Friday? Ooh, you farted, you nasty, nasty boy.
Who plays games?
You stink. Woo, what have you been eating? Anyway, we'll see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.
Depending, remember Vietnam time, so it could be the day before you, the day after you, or the same day as you. So anyway, so, all right, are you ready? Now say bye-bye. 1, 2, 3, bye-bye. Here I am, Vietnam.